The reason I rose to fame is not of my skill at all. Totally not that at all. Maybe it's hard work lah. You play like chua tai di.
Play chua tai di. Hard work is chua tai di. Two, big two.
Yeah, so you play big two, right?
Okay, so welcome back to Chills with TFC. Today I'm taking over Andrew's slot. Usually it's Andrew, but today I'm spending time with none other than Kelvin, right? But what do people need to know about you other than like you run a YouTube channel?
I'm an introvert. I don't talk much. So actually this kind of interview actually scares me a little. But I'm actually forcing myself to do it. So I'm glad to say that I've improved quite a bit.
Yeah, I know. Very long time ago, we tried to get you on the show.
Yeah,
and we got rejected. I'm very annoyed by that.
So at the time, it was actually around my first year of doing YouTube. And when I see this kind of interview, I was sort of petrified. Oh wow, I don't even know how to talk. Because everything I do on my channel is scripted, more or less.
Yeah.
It goes through my brain, everything is filtered. So I know what points to talk about. And when you put me into this kind of interview, everything just goes with the flow. I have no idea what I'm going to talk about. I might get censored or whatever. So that's why I rejected. Not because I looked down upon you guys. It's just that I'm not confident in myself yet at that time. So recently I met with you at an event. I said, okay, let's just give this another try.
Yes.
And now here we are.
Yes, here we are. And I very long never interviewed anybody already. Hey, so yeah, it's your privilege. Yeah. So we're gonna do a 2-part series, right? I'll be going on Kelvin's channel to talk a little bit about my experience. So if you want to hear my side of the story, you can head over to Kelvin's channel. And yeah, today I think we want to spend a little bit more time to talk about like how do you manage like sudden wealth and like fame, because let's be real, like it's only been like what 2 years in the making. How has this 2-year journey been from start till now?
I totally didn't expect this to blow up at all.
That's why you call it blow up. Because if you expected it, you would call it a growth strategy.
Yeah.
Yes.
I started this as a hobby, more or less. It's because I was frustrated that my friends, none of them were listening to my financial advice. So I tell them like, okay, you put money in this bank, you can earn this kind of interest. They're like, no. So I had no one to talk to. Even my wife, she wasn't interested in this kind of stuff. So everything was like pent up energy, and I needed an outlet. So I was watching a lot of US influencers talking about finance stuff, and I realized that in Singapore there wasn't this kind of stuff. So I just did it as a hobby. So eventually, somewhere in 2020, the first year, my channel suddenly became famous all of a sudden. I totally didn't expect this at all. And since then, I've started 1 video a week to 2 videos a week to now 4 videos a week. So people were commenting that I have a lot of white hair now. That is true. I suspect that is partly due to the stress from overworking too much. And now, I sort of stabilized it already. I'm more or less used to this kind of life now.
Okay, interesting. And how was that kind of rise to fame? How did it change your friends' view of your ideas? Because at first they don't listen to you, right? But now that you're more famous, right? Then did that change their perspective?
Actually, I never asked them. Because the one thing about me not working in the company is that I lose contact with my friends. I rarely go out. Like I can even count on 10 fingers. I mean, the amount of outings I go with my friends. So mostly it's just family time, work and sleep, right? So I don't really talk to them even. Because there's totally no time, and people were like, oh, he's busy again. Let's ignore him this time. So I don't know what do they think about me.
Okay, so you must comment in the comment section if you're Kelvin's friend, or you can WhatsApp him. But then how are people then influencing your thoughts? I think where I'm coming from is that when you are nobody, people don't really care as much about what you say. But eventually when you become somebody, everyone that perceives themselves as an expert, or like, I know this thing, they always want to try to influence your thoughts on some level.
I think it's just learning as I go along. In the past, I used to say, like, for example, diversification is for idiots. Because I believe that is the case, and I'm doing it for myself. So I try to spread this kind of, I don't know, is it real stuff or is it just fake news? I totally have no idea. So like all those stuff that I share online are just my opinions. The interesting is that many people take this as a real financial advice.
So you're saying it's not a real financial advice?
Technically, it's not. It's not because people pay for financial advice, right? They pay insurance agent for their services, so it's a real service. They are not paying me anything, right? So it's actually a free service.
Free does not mean not real.
Yeah, so it's real from my heart.
Real from your heart.
Real from my heart.
But may not be objective.
Correct. So
Okay.
it may not represent the truth. So when people take this kind of advice too seriously, some will obviously fall into traps, which I are not set on purpose, but they did fell in lah. So some will come back and blame me. So after that kind of event, right, I've been much more careful at what I say. If I feel that it even has a risk of losing money, I will try not to say it nowadays. I guess there's no choice.
How does it feel actually?
Like a learning process lor. Like, okay, let's say if diversification is a problem, so I almost all into Tesla, and people give me feedback that Tesla is dangerous. So instead of just swatting away this comment, I will take this kind of feedback seriously, look into it, recheck myself lah.
So at first it's a FUD kind of thing. At first you think it's like this, like fear. What's a FUD? Fear, uncertainty, or what? There's a word for it.
So I was
at first you sweep it off.
not really sweep it off. It's just that at the time, not many people were giving me comments lah. They were treating my comments as advice lah.
The word.
Yeah,
Yes,
the
yes.
word.
Kelvin 讲的.
Nowadays is Kelvin can believe or not, I can trust or not. So like that made me doubt myself, and like anything in life, like if you have to constantly doubt yourself, what you are doing, is it right or wrong, right? And with that, you can only continue to grow ma. If you're always right, then you will forever stay in the same place. That's what I feel lah. That has changed how I view YouTube right now. The stuff that I say, it must be filtered.
You're becoming more corporate. More white hair. But let me tell me a little bit more about how did that feel? Because I think I went through something pretty similar also, in a sense that at first you're nobody care, right? You just put out your content, you say, whatever doesn't really matter, right? So you're just putting out your opinion. Eventually you become a certain voice in the space.
Yes.
Then your words have weight.
Yeah.
Right? When your words have weight, it becomes your responsibility, and sometimes you will say things that may not be as accurate as what you believe in, because everything is a probability in the space, right?
Yes.
But let's be real, that's not a sweeping statement to say that you should just cut everybody some slack. Okay, there is some reality around, like certain ideas are more concrete, certain ideas are more fluffy, and all that, right? But how did it feel when people blame you for when shit happens? Which one specifically?
Hold the knot. Recently, there was the Hodernot that sort of locked up the users' funds. And previously, because I was using Hodernot for myself, so after trying it for a while...
Not sponsored post, right?
Totally not sponsored at all. After interviewing... I even went to interview them to try to find out if there's any problems or not. And I feel that they were genuine at that time. Few. Turns out they were not. So
if not, we will not be here today.
Yeah, earlier this year, the CEO did something weird. Right. So that goes against their promises lah. So they lie and hide stuff lah until eventually it blows up, and they have no choice but to lock the funds. The people will come back to blame me. Why did I introduce this to them? Even if I rewind back time, right, I might have still made the same mistake, because I felt that they were genuine. I felt that as a Singaporean, they wouldn't pawn themselves, right?
Too much trust in Singapore.
So that's the thing about crypto. I had too much trust in the crypto world.
I know.
So that was my first mistake. Trusting them. So I don't know. But this is a lesson learned, which gave me the insights to know what to do next, right? Because all of us, I'm 35 now, how I reach here is based on what I did in the past. Even all the mistakes or the breakups, whatever, teach me like to not repeat those in the past. And without all those mistakes, I will still be that guy 2 years ago.
So then how has it changed how you look at things with all these different battle scars in the space? How does it change your words, your advice, you said that it changed, but how's it changed? So that people say, okay, Kelvin can trust again.
Don't trust me, man. I mean, like, I've always said, but it's such that, right? This is what I'm doing. This is not financial advice, even though people totally ignore that part. It's like reading a contract, right? Everyone just take without reading the part and just, this is financial advice. This is what he said. We should trust him, which is not the case, right? So the title, my channel name already says it. Kelvin Learns Investing, right? I'm still learning, so I'm just sharing my journey on YouTube. My views has actually more or less the same. It's more more, what is that? 看得开 is that I see good in stuff. Like I do this because it's beneficial to me. Like I invest this way because it's beneficial to me. But maybe it might not apply in your case. Even from your own mistakes, right? The viewers, they've trusted this guy made a mistake. This means that you still have to do your own study on the stuff and not just trust blindly whatever the guy says.
No, but some people will say like, but you are, like a leading voice. You are responsible for what you say, which has some basis to it, right?
Yes.
I mean, it's like the banks, they put out a house view. Okay, we cannot compare ourselves with the banks, right? But the analyst puts out a house view, and it doesn't work. Of course you can. I think it is fair for the audience to suan xiao the analyst, right? It's like you always say now to be Jun, right? But what do you think is your relationship then with the audience?
The thing that I'm proud of at least is that maybe at least the 10 stuff that I say, none of them were accurate. So if you just think about that, I seldom make mistakes. But when I do make mistakes, the consequence is actually quite big lah. And I do feel bad for people who follow me blindly, even though it's technically non-financial advice, right? I do feel bad.
So then, how do you then manage this sudden fame, and how has it changed your life? Because now everybody care about what you say. I mean, we were at the networking event, right? And then I was like, wow, why is everybody around this guy? I said, oh, 原来是你. Yeah.
To be honest, I still not used to it lah. Like people call me out on street, hi Kelvin.
Yeah, we were having lunch just now, right? And then it's like, hey, hi Kelvin, I watch your videos. I was like, 我们只是在吃饭. It's like, can you don't disturb? But anyway, please, yes. Sorry to the guy that was at Golden Mile. I never specifically say. Okay, you're just fanboying. I get it. Yes.
I constantly remind myself that the reason I rose to fame is not of my skill at all. Totally not that at all. It's because of luck. Everything is luck, right? If you think about it.
Really?
Okay, so let's say if you compare me to someone else who put in the same amount of work, I totally believe that all the other YouTubers that came before me, after me, we all put in the same amount of work. It's just that by luck, right, it separates me from the rest. So I started around 2020. That was the year where COVID happened. They gave me more free time. I was still working. I was still working full time. I still do my work. I still do my work.
But anyway, never mind. The boss got no more boss already. It's fine.
So they gave me more free time. So that's the first luck. Then the second luck was that at the time there wasn't much YouTubers doing finance stuff, right? So that's the second luck. At the same time, 2020 was the year where a lot of brokers came in. Tiger Broker, Mumu. So I did a tutorial video, a review video for them, and that blew up. That went viral. Without that video, I wouldn't have grew so fast. So at the time, there was also the market crash and the market suddenly going out, right? Making me a lot of people suddenly interested in finance. If I were to do the whole thing exactly the same this year, right, it wouldn't happen for me. Totally not at all.
Not enough waves.
Yeah, so
consumption has come down, I think.
Due to luck. I feel. So that's the thing I remind myself, is not by skill at all.
No, but isn't that quite a sweeping idea also in that sense? Like okay, I'm not saying everybody will become famous, but everybody is trying to like succeed, right? And make progress in their life. So from a tangential viewpoint, right, it's a bit sweeping to say like, oh, it's all luck. There must be some sort of skills involved.
Maybe it's hard work lah. So it's you play like chua tai di, the
play chua tai di. Hard work is chua tai di.
English big two.
Yeah,
so you play big two, right?
I cannot. Okay, please continue.
So you play big two. Yeah, you're dealt with these cards. So that the card dealt to you is luck. How you do it is totally relies on your skill lor. So even if you have bad hands, right, if you know how to play it well, you will still win the game, even though someone else has that two, right?
There is some probability.
Yes.
You may be number two. It's like you're dealt with a certain deck of hand, and then you try to play the best out of it.
Correct.
Is that?
So I would say luck plays a huge part, but you still have to add in the hard work, lor. Because I went from one video, at that same year I went to 2 videos. So without that 2 videos, I wouldn't have grown so fast. And if I kept doing 2 this year, I think all the other YouTubers would have cashed up already. I think it's a combination of both. And that's the thing I have to remind myself constantly, not to get too ahead of myself. Right? That's my reality.
Okay, interesting. So what is your, I mean, not everybody wants to be a creative or like a YouTuber, but what advice for people that are trying to enter the space?
So my formula is to hard work, right? If you're just posting this once...
How is that a formula?
My success formula.
Just do a lot. Just do a lot. Is it? There must be some virality involved.
Right, so
you must write certain things.
At least the first one you must put in the work lah. I know some people they did it for a year, then they stop posting. For me, I started growing after the first year. After the first year, if I have stopped within 12 months, I would have dead already. I would been continue being a programmer right now. Not that programmer
Which is
job
not that too bad, right?
It's not bad. It's not bad. I think that's the first thing, hard work lah. Without that, I'm sure you have put in all the hard work to bring you where you are today, right? If you
I want to give up many times. Many times, guys. Really very annoyed by the endlessly you need to learn new things. Endlessly you need to like pick up new stuff. And then I think my listeners are quite understanding, you know, but I would say sometimes they really do expect the world out of you lah. Like
Yes.
they expect you to learn this thing, know that thing. But I think my relationship with them is if I don't know, I say I don't know. You know, and I don't feel like you know it is wrong for me to say I don't know. So this one I don't know, but I know this person. You can talk to them, you know, or you can check out this other resource, you know, because that to be clear, most analysts in the game, let's say the full-time analysts with the banks or the fund houses, they only do one or two tools, right?
Yes.
You ask if someone come in and tell you they know everything, right? The first thing you can is to like just discount 50% of their ideas, right? It's like most of the time they don't understand everything, right?
Yes.
So what makes them think that I should know everything, right? But I learn as I go along.
Yeah, so my comment, right? Every time people will ask me how to do this, how to do that, what do you think of this? You think I know everything? I'm just relying on Google for almost everything. That's the skill that I've learned as a programmer. If you talk to any programmer, right, their daily task is basically go to Google, how to do this, copy the code over and paste it over. That's my life. Even right now, I'm doing all my research based on Google, right? Then forming my own opinions about it. So that's the other thing also. You need to be super resourceful. I'm sure all the entrepreneurs, they know how to search for stuff, how to find the right people to do stuff. Because by themselves, they only have an idea, right? A rough idea how to do stuff. But they still need to find the right people to do stuff, how to do this, how to do that. So I think that's the other thing about being this YouTuber thing. So that's the second thing. Then the third thing is you can't just blindly follow the same steps over and over again. What worked for me is that I improve just one thing every video, like improve the script, improve the lighting, improve the filming, whatever. So eventually it compounds up to this second year right now. So my quality, if you just check my first video quality, it was super bad, man. Yeah, so that's why I am here because I follow this kind of formula.
So if someone want to learn something, okay, specifically, let's say we talk about like finance, right? Like there's a new tool, there's a new project, there's a new idea out there, or there's something that maybe in the past it's not new lah, but previously not very fashionable, you know, like savings bonds or whatever. Yeah, like very fashionable now, right? Everyone's talking about it. How do you go about learning a new thing?
They call it plagiarism. It's not, right? It's reference, right? If you just see all the research, even the real research, right, that they're built on other people's work. Everything just compounds, the knowledge just compounds. So to learn new stuff, I just read on other people's blog articles, videos, then add on whatever I have. Some people do comment like, hey, how come this guy produced the same video as the other guy?
Yeah. No, but I take it quite far. I will read the white paper kind of thing. Like really, like MAS, I read the formula. Okay, so it's like that. What are the main things inside it? So I a bit 小小.
I did check the formula, but it was too complicated.
Yeah. Not that I can understand, but I just want to know like how do they come to this? You know, what are the main factors to look out for? Because some things they do pull from the sky. You know, on some things it's like. You know, okay, let's be real, right? Like sometimes, let's say the savings bonds, right? They want to price it in a certain way. There must be certain parameter of thoughts. Okay, they think like, okay, we want to achieve this, we want to achieve this, we want to achieve this. How do we go about doing it? And then the how right in between, right? It's all like, you know, best practice for maths formula. You know, it's all plucked from somewhere.
Yes.
Right. So I think that's kind of where I go towards. That's why I take. Man, trust me, people always ask me, can you do more? Can you do more content? I cannot, because I find it very annoying to go and like just look at other people's blog posts and then do an episode about it. Like I have to go and read all the way down to the white paper. Like what's the formula? What they're doing? What they're trying to achieve?
Right.
And then I will formulate something from there.
Actually, I enjoy that process.
Yeah, no, but it's very tedious. And if you do 4 episodes a week, it's quite impossible.
A 5.
Yeah,
I like that. I mean,
Yeah.
since graduating, right, even as a programmer, right, the one thing I learned is to keep learning. Like at 2011, I graduated. That time was the Flash game era where they play a lot of FarmVille, right? I don't know if you're from the era or not. FarmVille on Facebook. But
I was.
around that year, iPhone became popular. So then games started trending towards mobile games. And if you are stuck at the Flash programming, you are dead already. You have no career in games anymore. So I have to go learn stuff, how to code for mobile games. Once in a while, I have to learn new game engines because otherwise, university is always updating their course. So they are training new fresh grads who can do stuff cheaper than you and better than you. So like the only difference between me and them is just experience law. So other than that, why not just hire them instead? So I have to keep learning things every year. So that's my life lah. And I enjoy that. Like, I think most programmers, they have to just keep updating themselves to stay relevant. That translates to this YouTube thing. I'm still learning every day and I enjoy that process.
So what is a few of these ideas that you shared on YouTube that age very well?
Age very well.
Like when you first started, you think it's like that, and after you age for 2 years, it's like, okay, actually 2 years not very long lah, but you know, after all these saga, all these things that happen, what are some ideas that age very well?
First one that I talk about a lot is Tesla. Till now, Tesla has went up, but I cannot guarantee that Tesla will crash tomorrow. So I can't claim credit for that. The one thing that HUL probably is just the basic stuff like personal finance, saving money. That won't go out of trend. Right? So I tell people to save money if you want to retire. You have to save money. Then if you want to go even one step further, you can achieve financial independence, retire early. You know, that kind of nonsense.
Chris is jumping aside, that kind of nonsense.
Right. That's the thing I tell people, you can do this. Then people say, oh, okay. Okay, Chris also said the same thing.
Honey Money, by the way. Honey Money SG.
Chris
Yes.
Honey Money,
Yes.
which he got interviewed by Channel News Asia.
Yeah,
I'm still very jealous of him.
No, it's okay. Channel News Asia all take our cast one. If you go and look at the CNA or the podcast, right, all from us, you know, we already cast the people. Okay, to be fair, in the past we will also do that, right? We go and look at other people's media network and see who have they cast. You know, it's like, hey, this person looks quite interesting. We bring them on.
Right.
So I feel very proud that, you know, all the people is 已经上过我们的节目. So okay, very good. Yeah, let's continue.
Yeah, so that won't go out of fashion, definitely, saving money. But if everyone saves money, this economy is doomed.
Explain a little bit more on that.
So like,
I understand, but I think the audience need
our
to.
GDP, I don't know, how many percentage is based on our spending. So if everyone were to save money, stop spending. So for me, I tell people that you can increase your savings rate. I don't know, but by how many, 5%, you can reduce the number of years you have to work. So technically, if you save like 80%, right, you can retire within just 10 years time. Around there lah. So
Because you work 1 year, you can live 5 years, right? Because
Yeah,
only,
something like that.
only
Correct,
20% of your income, yes.
if everyone were to save, then no one is spending, then businesses will close, then economy will be doomed. That's the advice generally give people. If you hate your job, change your job. If you want to retire early, save as much as you can, invest the rest lah. But for the rest,
but market not very well these days.
Yeah, the market is bad lah. But that just means the market is on the discount. That you can just buy in at the discount and wait for you to come back up lah. Yeah.
So what didn't age very well, other than the first example?
Crypto didn't age well. ETFs didn't age well.
Yeah, I remember there was a period of time Cathy was like Cathy, woohoo!
Cathy Mama.
yeah. 没有了, yes. No
So that
more.
was my another mistake. I was riding a trend lah. But now in 2022, wouldn't have said the same thing. I would just like, hey, this ETF is bad. I would look into it deeper lah. So again, it adds on to this whole learning experience.
But let's be clear, right? As someone that is riding up the YouTube algorithm and trying to crack the code, right? On some level, you write trends. Right? Even us, we have to write trends. Right? Like recently, I talked about quiet quitting.
Yes.
You know, by extension, talk about laying flat. You know, that's next week's episode. You know, so it's all part of riding the trend. You know, because algorithm daddy, right, says that you need to write the trend. But to be clear, now that you are at the pretty much the top of the league, then you don't really need to ride the trend as much.
I still have to.
You feel so? You feel so?
I still have to.
You can lead the trend. You can lead the ideas.
Oh, no. I'm not big enough yet. So, like, let's say if I talk, okay, a while ago I talk about this, how to do adulting, right? Obviously, I'm 10 years an adult already. I'm qualified to give advice, even though I'm still bad in some ways lah. But no one watches that video. So if you're not following the trend,
And you're not doing like Lisa lah. Right. Shout out to Lisa. You know Lisa's adulting?
Yeah, Lisa adulting.
Yeah, my God, girls amazing, right? Like the kind of tedious.
I think trend has a big part to play in my growth also. So I have to keep riding it.
Good reminder for me.
Yeah.
I need to ride the trend. So sometimes I just tangent and talk about my own shit, right? And then like, wow, the listen rate very low. And during team meeting, I very paiseh. It's like, hey, why this week numbers not so good? It's like, this one feeler.
Same. Yeah. So when I don't feel like making videos, I just pull some random stuff out of nowhere.
And usually it doesn't perform.
Yes.
Okay, fair. I get it. Okay, so then tell us a little bit more about, do you feel like you are on some level wealthy now? Or like you have fired on some level and like you're done on some level?
So if I just totally wipe out YouTube income, right? Technically I've fired already. It's because my expenses is super low. Even with a kid and myself, not including my wife, my expenses is only about 1,500.
Your kid?
My kid and me.
Use cloth pampers. Mommy breastfeed. Is that a situation?
So
hey, no insult to moms. I think breastfeed is very healthy. I just say, okay. I respect mothers that do breastfeeding. It's actually very hard. They have to change their lifestyle.
Yeah. So even without all this extra income, I fired already. It's just that I think with more money, I gain more security lah. Think of it this way lah. When you are earning an average salary, like what I did as a programmer, I was basically earning like a fresh grad pay because I was working in a game company. Game company don't pay much, by the way. It's only when you go.
I remember there was a period of time there was the campaign by some of the poly. If you love games, you will love to develop games or something like that.
Serious?
Sham, 那个是 sham 来的，不准的。That one never aged very well. Yes.
Yeah, so I'm actually have a much lower pay than my peers who are programmers lah. So I'm used to having low pay. It's just that after this YouTube thing, my pay went up suddenly, but I kept my income the same. I think maybe it's because since young I know that money is important, and my parents keep drilling this into me. Don't spend money. Like even till now, I'm still forcing myself sometimes to eat cai fan because it's cheap.
Why is it forcing?
So like beside the cai fan store, there's Western
Day.
food.
Oh yeah, Western food. Okay.
Those are like 2 times more expensive. They are like 煮炒.
No, but you want it. But you force it. I mean, I want to hear a little bit on that.
Yeah, I did. So I made the conscious effort to go for the cheapest option on normal days. Maybe I feel like I don't deserve to spend more.
Why do you feel like you don't deserve?
Maybe it's just out of habit. Okay, so like last time, I'm from Malaysia, right? So my parents will send me money so that I can have enough money to eat. In uni, not afterward. Not after I start working. After I start working, I was using my own money. So in uni, I was like very budget conscious. I know that my parents have a limited savings. I'm not going to drain off their savings. So I'm forcing myself, okay, on Sunday, I'm combining breakfast and lunch together to save money. So I think that habit brings all the way till now. And I remind myself that, okay, this money is there, but it can go disappear anytime. This YouTube thing is just luck, like I say, right? Maybe by tomorrow I get cancer and I lose everything already. But then, because I keeping it so
okay, you
low,
can join our channel.
So because I keep it so low, I have a lot of buffer, even if it all collapses.
No, but it doesn't change your way of life. Like the buffer so thick, you will definitely like look at it. It's like
Like I mentioned earlier, as a programmer, right, I have this level, and the more I earn, right, it actually unlocks a lot more things in life. So for me, the next goal to achieve is FIRE. Maybe I don't have to work 5 days a week anymore. Then maybe the next level is maybe I don't have to work anymore. Maybe the next level is I can buy a Ferrari and a condo at Clarke Quay or whatever. So I think
don't bother.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Maybe I won't.
This one is the 乡民进城, I'm the 市民下乡. I live in Singapore and to me I'm like just staying in KL and I love it.
Yeah. So I think having more money it doesn't change my life, but it just gives me more opportunities to do other stuff that most people won't be able to do. Whether to do it or not is another thing altogether. I think how I live at $1 million versus $10 million is probably I'm still eating chai fan at $10 million net worth lah.
I feel like in 10 years time, you'll be the uncle wearing the white singlet, sitting down there, 小弟我要 kopi 2杯 that kind of thing.
So I think that's my view on money lah. More money doesn't mean I spend more. It just that I unlock more.
Then doesn't it get boring? Like accumulation at some point, because you're not the only one, right? But I've talked to many others, and I feel like at some point people get kind of lost because they are like accumulating for accumulating. There's no real need for it, and I think that's kind of where I'm trying to drive. On like, hasn't it changed the way you look at money? Hasn't it changed the way you spend on some level, or are you still going through that change? Like you're kind of like feeling your way through this thing.
So my immediate goal is to achieve $1 million, which would let me fire lah. So because I have a goal, I'm not lost. I know that the purpose of this money is to reach there. Then after that, this $1 million, then I tell my wife, oh, maybe we want to upgrade our house. So that's the next immediate goal. And so on and so on lah. But maybe we won't do it. Maybe you use the money to travel. So I think there's always something.
Shift to Bali.
I think even with this income, I can shift already.
Yeah.
There's always some purpose to my money. So recently, I talked to Mr. Lu Cheng Chuan. He's that
1M65 guy,
right? I asked him what is the meaning of money to him. He said that it's just a scorecard. So
which is why I don't agree. yeah. So that's the part that I don't agree, because it becomes just a game and an endless accumulation, right? And just because you understand this particular game and you play it well, does it really mean that it benefits you for over a prolonged period?
So I think instead of looking at it that way, it's probably look at the part about chasing money. I don't think he's chasing money. I think he's just pursuing his passion to
making money.
Yes. So he has a handbag business. I think he likes that. Otherwise, he wouldn't do that, right? He's traveling, I think, almost every other day. So there's one. Then he has a lot of startups. So I think he likes all these businesses. Then earning money is just the side effect of creating value for people.
Yeah.
So
and I think that makes more sense, right? Compared to just like, accumulating money is a scorecard, I mean, because that's his pretty much his tagline. Every interview he goes, people ask him what's the meaning of money. So money is like a scorecard, you just see it keep going up. And then I'm like, not very functional, this way of thought. But when you put it this way, where it's just like a resource that you use to pursue what you like and what you want, and then it's very different.
So I think like the Maslow hierarchy of needs or whatever, once you pass a certain point, you don't have to work for money anymore, and the next step is to find what you like to do in life, right? So to me right now, I still haven't reached there yet. So I'm still have to find money, plus I have the luck of doing what I like lah. So that worked well for me.
So how far are you away from your next goal?
So before this YouTube thing, right, I was originally projecting to reach $1 million by 45. Then you
watch Chris, then he's 35, then you must do next
Chris
year.
35 is insane.
He said, guy's crazy.
Insane.
That's why kena flagged out, right? Yeah.
I messaged him personally. I say, hey, most people won't be able to reach this. He agrees.
Yeah. It's quite wild.
So I think about 40 years old is totally doable. Yeah, so if you
what numbers you crunch?
Start at 21, you start saving lah. You have to put in the work lah, of course. Not spend, not
so I want to know your model, right? Like what you crunch, how's the numbers like?
You have to save like at least 50% of your income lah. Then keep going up the.
So on median income, 4.5.
Median income is possible. That's the starting salary lah. After that, you have to definitely progress on with your career lah, and not just stay in the same place.
At what growth rate?
Based on my programmer's salary, it was 4K, 5K, 6K. Every 5 years lah. So it's like 25% growth. Then after that, you must invest the money that you have saved into growth stocks. The exact numbers I don't remember lah. It's just that I came to the conclusion that by 45 I can reach this goal.
Okay. But then growth stocks not growing now.
If you're looking at the stock point of view, it's definitely not growing, but the company is growing, right? There are more people signing up to whatever, Google, Tesla. There are more people buying cars on the back end. The company is innovating, so the company is growing on the company side. It's just that the stock is not reflecting that growth currently. So when everything corrects back to normal, the stock should theoretically follow the same trajectory lah. So that's what I feel. The one thing that carried me through all this, right? Okay, first one is my wife lah, of course.
Second one is the kid. No, you carry the kid, not the kid.
The second one I think is my fans lah. So when I did that Hold the Knot video, right? A lot of people say, oh, you don't have to bother too much about them, the haters. Then that gave me the confidence to continue on, right? Of course, there are a few haters. Oh, what you did was bad. It was wrong. Shouldn't do this. But majority of the voice are actually quite positive. So I felt that I can keep doing this because people were willing to listen what I have to say.
And how do you then recenter yourself? Like if someone, right through the high, right, very successful, things are going well, everything. At some point, do you get a bit too full of yourself? And how do you come back to okay, so this is why I'm actually doing this? Do you go through something like that?
Wow, constantly, man. So, okay, the one thing that helped was I have my kid. So I know that in some way or another, right, I'm actually doing this for my kid. The first one is maybe because in 10 years' time, my kid can watch back and see what I said, the stupid stuff I said. Then...
and judge you for it.
Yes, definitely. But I don't get too full of myself. I constantly remind myself that all this is just temporary. And it will stop one day. You can see it through my actions by me not increasing my expenses. Imagine earning a below average salary, right? And you suddenly XX, I don't say how much, SS your income by this much.
But I know. So I can tell you the XX is there lah. Yes.
There. Yes. I keep my expenses the same as when I graduate. I think that helps me keep myself to reality lah.
No, but your reality has changed on some level.
The online reality.
Yeah, no, as in even when your income changes,
right,
your reality has changed. The thing is, you are sticking to some of your older habits because of familiarity, and then you're comfortable in that realm, right? But the resources that you have, the game that you're playing, the whole reality that you're in, you can argue that the whole thing has changed.
Yeah. So I do have a lot more money to invest now. I haven't get to touch that money yet, actually. Because this is my first financial year, so I have not. Most of the money is still in the bank. I've not feel it.
Corporate account.
Yes, corporate account.
Okay, so you give yourself a pay from the corporate account.
Yeah, I'm giving myself the same pay as I did when I was a programmer. For tax purpose. Tax purpose. Yeah, I have not reached that part where I can touch the money yet. Maybe when I do, I feel high. I don't know.
Yeah. we can come on the show again and talk about it. So today
I bring the cash.
See. I give myself 5x the income. This is how I'm feeling now. I've changed my way of life.
Probably I will. The thing that changed is that I let myself think more wow stuff lah. Like say buy bigger condos, buy Tesla car, or even travel the world without working at all. So for now, I'm still like myself when I first started 2 years ago.
Yeah, I think you share a lot of good stuff. In closing, do you have any last things you want to add for people that are kind of like striving for their success? And maybe some people, right, after they strive for a while, they actually have some level of success. And I think that's the part that it becomes a little bit interesting, because when you're striving, you're in the state of constant, right? You're just kind of riding, but then now you're above the water already. Then you feel like, oh, so this is how it feels like. And how would you give an advice to some of these people that is experiencing some level of success, some level of fame, some level of wealth that they wanted to and they've achieved it?
Like you, I think you have found the success.
No, that's not a good answer. Yeah, how will you advise someone like that?
I think stay true to yourself, and know that this success is not permanent. It can go away anytime.
Maybe 3 years later you will think different because it becomes permanent. It changes your perspective.
No, but then if you see the success rate of startups, right? I don't know what's the success rate. It's 90% of the companies fail, and the next 5 years another 90% fail. So I'm just in my second year. So I'm definitely constantly reminding myself that all these are not permanent. So if you have found success, don't spend too much money yet, because all this can go away anytime, definitely. I think once you reach a certain point, like what I did now, right? My next thing to think about is where should I go next? To which I have not really found the answer yet. Should I expand, or should I keep doing this kind of solo work? I don't know. just talk to more successful people, lor, like Reggie.
No. Maybe you can join us. We can do another show. Kelvin Learns Live or something. Okay, thank you for coming on the show. I love it. Thank you for your time. Yeah.
Thanks for inviting.
Nice. And if you want to check out my segment on Kelvin's channel, then you should just drop over. Okay, we'll see you next round. Bye.
Bye.